Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and or the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. This is also a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then? That will give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, so here we go. We're going to find the underlying energy for this reading at the bottom of the deck, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor. This is saying that the Wheel of Fortune is three wheels in actually not just one, and it is turning the past, the present, and the future, synchronicity. And this is on this wheel there are the Hebrew letters of the word that add up to the name of God, and that's YHVH. And this is in the geometria. There is they assess number value to each of the letters, and when they did that and they put them in different combinations, the ratio was very similar to the ratio 5, which is 1.618. And this energy talks about the same energy as what's referred to as the golden spiral and the golden ratio. So if you look at pictures of hurricanes or of tornadoes, they follow that same ratio. So it's like the proportions are nesting within each other and calculated on that, the size increasing gradually but in the same ratio. And you'll see that in the way that the human face is, like the distance between the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And then, in the human body, you'll see it in the arms, the upper arms to the lower arm, to the hand, to the fingers. There's specific proportions that are, followed somewhat closely. And you'll see it in animals, you'll see it in plants, in fruits, and it's pretty much everywhere throughout nature. And when you see this, you recognize that nature, the true nature of nature is to be very organized. Like the cells are very organized. They also follow this ratio. So it's talking about how when God built the world, basically, it was actually under very organized circumstances. So a lot of times people feel like, oh, the world's going to chaos. The world goes to chaos now and again when it expands, but when it contracts, it automatically comes back to this perfect order. When you see a newborn baby, that is like the most pure example of the perfect order of the universe and how the universe manifests. All right, and creates. Okay, so we have perfect creation moving forward. Like this is talking about your destined plan, like why you came here, but basically. And so this is the Four of Swords. So the swords represent your mind, your discipline of your mind, your mental intelligence, your thoughts, basically, and the words you use to express those thoughts, whether they be written or verbal. And this energy, this person is looking for peace. And we have the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, and the conscious mind are hung on the wall. And so the subconscious mind is the mind that develops from the time you're a baby until you're about 7 years of age. And that energy is heavily imprinted on you, because babies are like sponges. You think about what a baby has to learn in the first year of its life alone. And they just absorb their environment like a sponge. And then, most of us can't remember usually before kindergarten, not a whole lot, and definitely not a lot when we are a baby. So we're really relying on the thoughts of others, of how they interpreted our behavior. And, you can ask them, oh, when you were a baby, you were like this and you were like that, and you loved to do this and you loved to do that, and you had a temper, and, that kind of energy. So the thoughts in our subconscious mind are built upon our environment, that the people who were in charge of our care, it was their environment and a lot of their thoughts. And when we get triggered, that's the mind that automatically pops up. And that's what, the most unreliable of all of them. And our subconscious mind will rule. And so the unconscious mind is your spiritual side, basically. A lot of people will say, yes, I'm a soul, or I'm a human being with a soul. But it would be more accurate to say that you are a soul that's traveling in a human body, and the human body is your vehicle for being able to move and navigate through Earth. And then we have the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is what you have a handle on. This is what your own experiences are showing you as you go through life, your memory of how shift went down, basically. And so you see this person is wanting to rest his mind so that he can go inward and feel for the answers rather than think about the answers. And so that requires using your intuition and going inward and quieting the mind, disciplining the mind to be quiet. I want to listen to my heart now. That's the kind of energy. And so this is, the sword down here represents peace of mind. And putting the mind to rest and going inward, meditating and praying to get creative solutions to what you're thinking about. And on the window here, the stained glass window, is the word PAX, P-A-X, and that stands for peace. So peace of mind by going inward. And then we have, again, this is really a deep reading here for random shift. Okay, so this is talking about the cutthroat energy. This person will do what they have to win. And he's like, okay, I already took 2 down. Any more takers here? That's the kind of energy. Even when you look at the sky, look how jagged the clouds are, right? So this is a very harsh energy, cutthroat. Having said that, sometimes this card can represent the energy of someone who's having an inner battle. And it's that inner battle we just talked about here, where the subconscious, unconscious, and conscious mind are fighting within someone. And they can't, you don't want to have a board meeting with yourself every time you make a decision, right? So this is talking about, the subconscious mind, the smaller one there, the unconscious, and then this is the conscious mind, what you have a handle on. And this is talking about when those 3 become congruent and you plug them into your heart's desires, then you can really go after what you really want. And it's not a battle. It's like a lot of times when we're battling for something, it might be because it's not right for us, and we think that's what we want. And then when we get it, we realize, oh, I didn't want that. And so we go and battle for something else. And so this inward battle the only way to quiet it is this, to go inward. Plug into your heart and then discipline your mind. Get everything working together, and then you'll come up with your authentic desires. And then that requires no battle, because that's when you're like within yourself, your energy is so calm and you're in the eye of the storm all the time, so you don't attract that battle energy. Lots of fighting for what you want here in this reading. So this is talking about the 7 of Wands here. And so this again is representing someone who has to battle others. This is the actions. The wand, the element of the wand is fire. And the fire is talking about, taking action, basically, having passion for life. And so this is talking about, this person is fighting off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people here, and had to maybe run out of the house really quickly to get to higher ground so that he could fight for what was his. And he's got a boot on one foot and he's got a shoe on the other. So this, maybe he was in such a hurry, he didn't even notice, he didn't even put the same footwear on. But sometimes what this does represent is someone who's straddled between 2 worlds. The calm of the person, and then the one that gets to work. And so this is actually sometimes a really bad habit of having to battle for what you want. Sometimes our unconscious mind, maybe when you were a child, you were told you have to fight to get to the top. You have to work hard to succeed. You have to, rule over others. You have to put yourself on top. You have to make sure that, you're on top of the pile, not at the bottom of the pile. That kind of energy is what I'm picking up here. And so, but this card actually represents when you know what you know, and now you really, you notice he's defending his heart's position now. So, you don't really want to be getting in the habit of having to battle for everything that you want, like that is, that you want to have come into your life, that you want to manifest. You want it to come with ease because it's in sync with what, with your heart, with your mind, and it's really going to benefit you, and you're on your destined path. And so this energy, now at least this is conviction beyond a doubt, where you're willing to fight for what your heart wants now. So that's a step in the right direction for sure. And then this is, this is kind of funny. So this card is a walking contradiction. This person, I call this my shift disturber card. This is someone who likes to stir the pot. It's a walking contradiction because this person is looking backwards over his shoulder, and he has, planted 2 swords, and then he's carrying these 5. He is looking over his shoulder, but he's moving forward. He's not looking where he's going. And he's got this bright red cap on his head, and bright red boots kind of, and it's just kind of like, he's in broad daylight, so he's not a thief in the night, but he could be someone who is a white-collar crime specialist, someone that sneaks away through the day, and and right in front of your nose, they're thieving. And so, these 5 swords that he's sneaking away with are literally like, look how he's carrying them. Who carries swords like this? Especially when you're not looking where you're going. So this kind of energy sometimes can be like innovative thinking, like, not taking life so seriously. But generally, it's a buffoon energy. He doesn't even care about his own safety, let alone the safety of others. And it's kind of an energy of, stirring the pot. Like, why is he leaving these 2 swords behind? Is it like, so the villagers, they just went for lunch or something, and they come out and their swords are all missing, but there just happens to be 2 there in case they get a fight. You stole them. No, you stole them. And meanwhile, he's off with them, and we don't know what he's going to be doing with them. So this is, if you're involved in an energy with someone like this, just recognize they can be a lot of fun, but they don't really care. And it shows just by the way he's carrying these swords. And so if he's careless with his own life like this, then he'll be careless with yours for sure. So just, if you're doing any business with someone like this, make sure you dot your I's, cross your T's, look over the contracts, look over the agreements, lock your house, that kind of energy. And then we have a mental prison. So this is talking about being in a mental prison, and this energy is, these represent thoughts and energy that's behind you. And I feel like in this card, a lot of the time, these are other people's thoughts that are happening behind you, what they're saying. And, remember, thoughts are expressed through words. And it could be written, but like something sneaky going on there, or this could actually be an energy of people actually talking about you behind your back and taking actions on paper behind your back, that daylight thief energy. And what's really interesting about this card that came up, and now this card is like, there's 8 swords here, and you see there's one here that is the only one that's not behind now. At some point here, I feel there was way more water here. Like, this could almost represent the tears that someone has. And this is being bound up, like not being able to see the way out. Quite often this energy talks about feeling duty bound for some reason. And, not being able to see a way out. And the water in tarot represents emotions. And I feel like, to get through these 7 swords behind her, She had to really, there was a lot of tears cried, but now it's drying up, and she's got her right foot moving forward here. And so this energy is talking about moving forward, like that's the action. And her left foot is still in a puddle, but the good news is it's a shallow puddle. So a lot of the water has dissipated. It's not saying your emotions are shallow, but that you have less emotion about the situation. You don't feel so duty bound now. And so you know, this could be like you're in a marriage, and the energy is like, you know, you feel like you have to stay because you promised, like that, you know, that was your vows. And so you see like how we have seven, well, this is 8, but there's 7 swords behind her. I feel like that it's interesting about this card. It came up about a month ago or so, where when I was doing a reading, the words like, you know, that saying, the 7-year itch, came up. And I looked it up for people. I posted what it was about after. But the 7-year itch is basically a phenomena that happens. And statistically, when people are going to get divorced, it usually is after the 7th year of marriage. Somewhere between the 7th and 8th year, they just aren't happy in the marriage anymore. And it also happens with, if you purchase a house, if you can imagine that, buying a house and after having it for 7 years, not wanting to be in it, or having a really good position for your career at a company, and after 7 years, you just don't want to have it anymore. And so I feel like, you know, we've got 7 years of action maybe, and then 7 swords here. And we've got 7 behind her, and she's going to take action with this one. I feel this is talking about a relationship here that is not working that well anymore. It maybe did in the beginning. Maybe in the beginning it was great. And you notice how this whole reading is about swords. And now the energy, this is, except for this one, is about action. And so basically, I feel like this is saying, like, you want peace of mind. You're tired of having to fight with someone and everyone around you and yourself inside to, you know, and that's this struggle here. And you're willing to now fight for the direction you want to go on. You have, you know what you know. You found out something that happened here, and you're done. Like, it's kind of like conviction beyond a doubt. I'm moving forward, and I'm protecting my heart, and I'm going to... It's like after you come to this position where, okay, I'm not going to fight for what I over every little thing that I want in my life. I'm going to live a more peaceful life with ease, and that means letting go of someone, basically. I feel that's the energy, and this is the decision being made here. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. I feel this energy has really drained you of your ability to be able to move forward in a real strong way. Like when it comes, the Pentacles represent the energy of, you know, being very resourceful. Pentacles represent health, wealth, happiness. You know, in the 3D world, a big part of that is coin, and that's why the Pentacles are represented by a coin. But you could have all the money in the world, and you still aren't necessarily living the lifestyle that you want to live. If every time you turn around, every time you walk out the door and you lock your house, you're wondering, hey, what's my partner going to be up to while I'm away? You know, what's he doing when I'm away? Like, and you have this really bad feeling about it. That's your intuition speaking to you. And so this is talking about the Queen of Pentacles wants a quality life. She's not so concerned with quantity. This is generational wealth. It's like a legacy of wealth. That's something you could pass down to your grandchildren and, you know, your children's children, kind of like that energy. And so this is talking about old money, and it's old money. People who come from that kind of energy generally do not flash their money around. They don't have to have designer this and that and be flashy. They quietly build wealth in the background, and they live a very strong lifestyle because of it. No drama. Or, well, there's always drama in life, but you know what I mean. They don't go out of their way to find drama. And so this is talking, yes, definitely. This is someone in your life who you're disappointed in the situation. So this is talking about someone who's sitting under the, like, this is almost like, okay, This is talking about what's been happening. You know, you've had to be super resourceful, and on top of it, you've now been totally disappointed by this person in matters of love. And so it's about lifestyle and pentacles, money, and also love. Like there's what, you know, what's good about this at this point? Like what is the benefit of staying in a relationship like this? And this is talking about, you know, there's 4 cups here. These 3 here are lined up representing situations this person has gone through. And the universe is offering another cup of love. He's saying, I don't, if it's the same old shift that I had to deal with before, I'm not interested. No, thank you. And so this can represent a third party in the relationship. It can represent 3 relationships that have gone wrong. It could represent someone that you've given 3 chances to, and they're asking for a 4th chance and they strike out. And sometimes this can even represent that somebody stepped out of the relationship and got someone else pregnant or became pregnant. And this is a gift from God, you know, the most beautiful gift you can have of all, which is a baby, but not within your relationship. So it's not ideal. Let's put it to you that way. And I feel so this can also be, if it's not about love, it can be about something you love to do or love to be. Like, and this is someone that is affected your work life. The energy is you need to have a strong environment that's at home that supports your work life, and you need to have a strong environment at work to support your home life. Oh, look at, and that devil comes in. So this is temptation coming in, so that your partner basically thought the grass was greener on the other side, and what I just said is what's coming up. And so they got tempted. This is 2 lovers that are yoked to each other and they're chained to Saturn's box. And this energy is talking about the devil is haunched over them, sitting on that box. And this represents like, your animal instincts. So this represents lust instead of love. When this energy comes up, you're never going to get the truth out of this energy. This is very manipulative. So I always check, I cover this card with the next one up. And I want to see what minion does the devil send in to do his dirty work, because he never does his own dirty work. He gets someone to do it for him. And, what's it about? Or does God step in and stop it? And what we have, oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. So this is talking about someone who's been making, the 10 of Swords represents, it sort of speaks for itself here. This is someone that's been stabbed in the back 10 times. This could represent over a decade. It could represent the energy of, 10 times by one person, or 10 people involved. And it can also represent 10 groups of people involved, depending on how much money you have. Follow the money. That's what they're after here. And so this is someone who's in a relationship for you because of your money, basically, and has collaborated with other people, it looks like, to put you in this position. And so this is what sometimes the Masons refer to as the slow dagger. You can look that up online if you want. But this is really wanting you down, like this. They want you down on the ground like this, so they can take what is yours. It's sitting right on this card here. That's why you've had to battle for everything. And so it's not your imagination that is happening behind your back. And here it is here, and you're starting to see it here. So now we have the King of Pentacles coming in. So once you figure this out, the Pentacles, now you become the King of Pentacles, and you're the one who's in charge. And so this kind of energy, the King of Pentacles is well respected for his business acumen. This is someone who, like the Queen, they're very resourceful. And look at this, could be a couple. And so this energy right here, with all these swords and all this fighting, I feel like this is maybe a relationship. There's been a lot of sneaking behind your back here. So if you're the Queen of Pentacles, this energy, I feel this is the person that your partner. And so I feel like this is someone that you have investments with, etc. This is probably a spouse. whether it be male or female. The queen can be a female or a male in their feminine energy, and the king can be a male or female in the a masculine energy. But I feel it's the masculine energy that is involved in this, and your energy is the feminine energy, however that works out for you. And so this is talking about, this has been happening in this marriage. So with this commitment, if it's not a marriage, if you're not married, but you're in this situation, it's talking about a business partner or people that you do business with. This has been going on a long time. It's a calculated effort to slowly take you down so that you get to the point where you don't even want to get up. And this, the only thing about this card, it's representing, this is the end of that energy. The wheel is turning, and look at his hand is in the form of a blessing, and the Hierophant, who's responsible for bringing justice into the planet from the spiritual realm down to the physical, has his hand in the same symbol. So this is, believe it or not, it's hard to see right now, a blessing in disguise, because now you at least know what's going on. And look at this, the illusions. The moon represents the energy of hidden secrets, illusions coming out. And this energy, this lobster is crawling out of the emotional waters, and they're making themselves vulnerable to stay on their path. They have to go between this domestic dog and this wolf, who are both howling at the moon. And this is talking about being okay with being vulnerable, because you're staying on your path. And because you've been staying on your path throughout this scenario, you are, the wheel is turning in your favor now, and God is saying, enough of this shift. I'm putting my foot down. And so if we go from the bottom to the top and back down, this is about you went inward and asked for God's help. And now you found out what was going on behind your back. And I feel there could be someone that's pregnant. There already could be a child, because this has been going on a long time. This is an energy of a calculated effort by more than one person to take you down, like so that they could have your money, basically. And it looks like it, when these two come out together, generally they're a couple. And generally they're, an admired couple, like, oh, they'll have a real beautiful lifestyle, and it looks really good on the outside. But if this is the sneaky energy going on behind it, there's a lot of tension in this relationship. And a lot of the secrets are coming out, and I feel that's being represented here. There's been a lot of tears cried, but now you're like, you totally can see whatever this person has been doing, you can see it in broad daylight here. It's very clear to you. And this is talking about now you are going to fight for what's yours. And what's interesting about this, there could be some illegalities going on here, because we have this energy here of conviction beyond a doubt, and that could be prison, and this can also represent prison. And this represents the Hierophant energy of justice being served, so that, that when this relationship ends, that you come out of it with your fair share at least. And then you can move forward in a stronger way. If you're ready to get away from this energy, I don't blame you. But give it a like and comment anyway. It helps me build my channel. It's random shift. I can't help what comes out. I'm going to clarify it for those of you who would like to have a little more clarity about this situation. So I'm using my Oracle Tales from the Vector. In the description box below, the numbers on these cards, I will put them in the order that they come up here, and then you can check it out at my website, talesfromthevector.com, if you would like to get a little more information. They say I have 64 paintings there. I started this oracle in 2007, and I completed it in 2020. And I'm just playing with it now, because you may have noticed what looks good on paper doesn't necessarily come out the same when you put it into action. So it looks like you may have noticed that in this relationship. Yeah, this is talking about transition. This is over. The wheel of fortune is turning. God is saying, I don't think so. Like, enough of this shift. You have a special reason why you're on the planet, and you need to have this lifestyle and this like not be in this energy all the time. There's nothing in this relationship that's worth salvaging at this point. You know, and look at, we have the Hierophant coming out. So again, saying, you know, when you went and you asked for help, God heard you. And so this is saying you shouldn't be in a position where you have to battle just for like having a peaceful lifestyle. You know, if you have to always be wondering, okay, what's going on? What is this person going to be doing next? This is talking about some new energy coming in. You know, the Aries energy, and we talked about the baby's energy, and this is saying like this is going to be a new cycle that you're going to go in. And this is where, now that you know what you want, and you've been shown the truth about what's really going, the light is shining. God represents the sun, and the sun is shining down on this and saying, this is, you know, this isn't how you're supposed to manifest what you want in life. Not doing it this way, and it has to stop. Mother's worry. I'm sure your mother is worried about you. You know. You know, the problem with mothers worrying is that it's the worst thing we can do is worry as mothers, because if we can't see a brilliant future for our child, who's going to? But this is also, you know, the energy of what's happening on the planet and being concerned, okay, how am I going to, you know, if I separate here, and all the energy of all the work going into that. It's just saying that you, the karmic space of attachment is coming up. So the energy is that what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. And that's basically the energy that you're in. This is very clear here. And then we have the energy of Gemini here. And this is, the Gemini energy is talking about acting like kindergarten, and the communication being almost like, you know, it's not clear. Mercury rules Gemini energy, and Gemini is the third sign in the zodiac. And it's talking about kind of at that kindergarten age where now your subconscious mind isn't controlling you anymore. Your subconscious, what you have the three minds working in synchronicity with each other, and you're plugged into your heart's desires now. You know, it's usually around kindergarten age when we start going to kindergarten, we realize, hey, not everybody's living the same lifestyle that we are. And that's when you know, a small child starts realizing, hey, some of the other kids live way different from me, and they talk way different from me. And the whole world isn't exactly like it is in my home. And that's the energy that you're in right now. I want to point out, when these horoscope cards come up, I'm not saying a Gemini did it or an Aries did it. That could be true in your situation. Follow your intuition regarding that. But my goal is to talk about what is the benefits we can learn from each of the signs. We have a little bit of each of the signs in each and every one of us. And that allows us to move forward in a strong way. We can learn not the hard way from these energies. And so and this is talking about that realization that other people are living a way better lifestyle than you are. And it's time for you to make that decision that you deserve to have that peace in your life also. And we have the Tower coming in. And in my oracle, it says divorce, but it actually, what it means is the worst divorce is from source, basically. So if you stick with God, you usually come out on top. That's the energy here. All right. This hasn't been the most pleasant of the random shift energies, but it's good knowledge to have. And it's not uncommon energy, by the way. You know, it happens. This, I feel like this is representing to a real strong degree. But sometimes people can be in a lesser degree in this kind of energy. Please do like and comment if you've enjoyed the reading, or you know, if you've gotten value from it. And subscribe to the channel if you resonate with the energy. I will be back with another reading about random shift for you soon. Bye for now.